All right, thanks, guys. We are currently 8-2 in our last 10 board member package plays on patreon.com/Brock Page. We're also hitting at 67% for the entire college football season on that website. Link for that site is in the description section below. That is patreon.com/Brock Page. All right, the Winnipeg Jets take on the Panthers. 7 o'clock Eastern puck drop in Florida. The Panthers are minus 160, total 6.5. No movement on this total as of yet. We did see a nickel move toward Florida in the early wagering. The Panthers open $1.55 up to 160. Totals 5.5. 55% of the consensus are leaning toward Florida. 63% shaded toward the under. Right now, Winnipeg's plus 140 on the money line. Florida plus $1.55 on the puck line. We have Sergei Bobrovsky for the Panthers. Connor Hellebuck for the Jets. Bobrovsky's 6-3-1 on the year for the Panthers. Florida's also won 4 out of their last 6 games. They're just 3 points back of first place in the Atlantic Division. They rank the top 3 in scoring and offensive shots. Huberdeau has 9 goals on the year, 15 assists, 24 points. Barkov has 19 assists on the year, 24 points total for him. And Dadonov, 8 goals on the year, 16 points for the Panthers there. Now Winnipeg on the other side, rank in the bottom 10 in scoring, bottom 10 in shots allowed. Little, Bufflin, Beaulieu, and Appleton are all listed as out for the Jets. And total-wise, the Panthers on the other side, 3-1 to the over in their last 4. 4-1-1 to the over at home. And 12-5-1 to the over for the year. I'm going to lean Panthers minus $1.60 and the over 6.5 in that game. Next matchup, Hurricanes, Sabres, 7 o'clock Buffalo. The Hurricanes are minus 140 on the road. Totals at 6. We saw a nickel move toward Carolina and movement downward on the total. The Hurricanes open $1.35 up to minus 140. Total open 6.5 down to 6. 52% of the consensus are leaning toward Buffalo. 58% shaded toward the under. Right now the Sabres are plus $1.25 on the money line. Carolina plus 180, laying the goal and a half. Peter Mrazek's for the Hurricanes, Carter Hutton's for the Sabres. Hutton comes into this game with a 2.39 goals against and a 9.21 save percentage. Buffalo's 5-2-1 at home, top 10 in goals allowed, top 5 in goals allowed at home. Jack Eichel has 11 assists, 19 points on the year. Reinhart has 8 goals, 7 assists. And Dahlin is plus 16 on the year for Buffalo. Skinner plus 10. Carolina on the other side, losers in 4 out of their last 5. They've also dropped 5 out of their last 8 away from home. They're 3-5 against the spread in that same category. And of course, when I refer to the spread in the NHL, I'm referring to the puck line. So once again, Carolina just 3-5 against the spread away from home. They rank in the bottom 10 in road scoring. When it comes to this total, Carolina's 3-1 to the under in their last 4. Buffalo 5-3 to the under at home. I'm going to lean toward the Sabres plus 1.5 and the under 6 goals in that game. Next matchup, Rangers, Lightning, 7 o'clock Tampa Bay. The Lightning are minus 275 at home, total 6.5. We saw a 20-cent move toward Tampa Bay, no real surprise there. The Lightning opened 255 up to minus 275, total 6.5. 71% are leaning Tampa Bay, 58% shaded toward the over. Right now the Rangers are plus 240 on the money line. Tampa Bay minus $1.10, laying the goal and a half. We have Andrei Vasilevsky for the Lightning, Alex Georgiev for the Rangers. Georgiev is 4-3 on the year, 273 goals against, 917 save percentage. Meanwhile, Vasilevsky on the other side for the Lightning comes into this game with a 301 goals against average. Tampa Bay ranks in the bottom 10 in goals allowed, bottom 3 in shots allowed. They're just 5-10 against the spread this year, 5-10 in their 15 puck line plays. They're also 2-3 ATS at home. Now the Rangers on the other side, winners in 5 out of their last 7. They're also 3-2 ATS when traveling, 10-6 against the spread overall for the year. Art Panarin, 8 goals, 11 assists, 19 points for the Rangers. Strome, 11 assists, 16 points. Buchnevich, 12 assists. He's also plus 8 on the year. New York ranks in the top 10 in scoring, top 10 in goals allowed on the road. Total-wise, New York is 9-7 to the under for the year, 60% to the under when traveling. I'm going to lean Rangers plus 1.5 and the under 6.5 in that game. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for Thursday's NHL action. But before we dive into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you once again to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where once again we are 8-2 in our last 10 board member package plays. We're also hitting at 67% for the entire college football season on that website as well. A lot of folks ask me, what's the difference between your Patreon website and the YouTube website? Well, what we do here on YouTube is we handicap every single game on the board, both the side and the total. If you were to do that in real life and bet your hard-earned money on every single game, both the side and the total, you will guaranteed lose in the long run. The books are too good. The math is always against you if you do that. So what we do on Patreon is we really nail it down and focus on 3 to 4 premium high percentage plays per day. They're personal plays of mine. They're games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, my win percentage, my record on Patreon is a lot better than it is on YouTube. And you can actually check that out right now for free. All you have to do is click the link in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some more free lines and personal leans right here on YouTube. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got the Coyotes taking on the Wild. 8 o'clock Eastern puck drop in Minnesota. The Wild, minus 120, total 5.5. We saw a 15-cent fade of the Wild. No movement on the total as of yet. Minnesota open 135 down to minus 120. Totals 5.5. 59% are leaning Arizona. 57% shaded toward the over. Right now the Coyotes are catching even money on the money line. Minnesota plus 215 on the puck line. We have Devin Dubnyk for Minnesota. Darcy Kemper for Arizona. Kemper's 8-5-1 on the year, 199 goals against, 931 save percentage. Dubnyk on the other side for Minnesota, just 3-8 on the year, 343 goals against, 893 save percentage. Minnesota's just 2-5 straight up in their last 7. Bottom 10 in scoring, bottom 3 in offensive shots. They're also just 7-11 against the spread, 2-3 ATS at home. The Wild rank in the bottom 10 in goals allowed, bottom 10 in goals allowed at home. They're in last place in the Central Division, 15 points back of first place in that division. Foligno, Patterson, and Fiala are all out for Minnesota. Now the Coyotes on the other side, winners in their last 2 straight. They're also 9-2 against the spread when traveling this year. 11-6-2 straight up overall for the year. Second place in the Pacific Division, just 2 points back of first place. Garland has 8 goals, 11 points. He's plus 7. Schmaltz, 11 assists, 15 points, plus 7 on the year as well. And Goligoski, 10 assists, plus 7 for him for the Coyotes. Arizona's top 3 in goals allowed, top 10 in shots allowed on the road. In total-wise, Minnesota's 80% to the over at home. I'm going to lean Coyotes, catching even money in the over 5.5 in that matchup. Next game, Avalanche, Oilers, 9 o'clock Edmonton. The Oilers are minus 135 at home, totals at 6. We did see a 10-cent fade of Edmonton in the early wagering. The Oilers open $1.45 down to 135, totals at 6. Colorado's plus 120 on the money line. Edmonton plus $1.85, laying the goal and a half. We have Mike Smith for the Oilers, Adam Werner for the Avalanche. Now Mike Smith comes into this game with a 2.58 goals against and a 913 save percentage for the Oilers. Edmonton 6-2-1 at home this year, first place in the Pacific Division. They're in the top 10 of goals allowed, 2-1 straight up in their last 3. Leon Draisaitl, 15 goals, 36 points on the year for Edmonton. He's plus 9. Connor McDavid, 20 assists, 31 total points. He's plus 6. James Neal has 12 goals on the year, 14 points. And Zach Kassian is plus 12 on the year, 8 assists for him. Now Colorado on the other side has a couple guys banged up. Landeskog, Grubauer, and Rantanen are out. Zadorov is questionable. Colorado's just 3 and 5 straight up in their last 8. Bottom 5 in shots allowed. Now, total-wise, Colorado 2 and 1 to the over in their last 3. Edmonton 3 and 1 to the over in their last 4. They're also 5 and 4 to the over at home. I'm going to lean toward the home favorite in this one. Give me the Edmonton Oilers minus 135 and the over 6 goals in that game. Next matchup, Stars, Canucks, 10 o'clock, Vancouver. The Canucks are minus 150, totals 5.5. We saw a 10-cent move toward Vancouver in the early betting. The Canucks open $1.40 up to 150, totals 5.5. 66% are leaning Vancouver, 67% shaded toward the over. Right now, Dallas is plus 130 on the money line. Vancouver plus $1.85, laying the goal and a half. We have Jake Markstrom for the Canucks. Anton Khudobin for Dallas. Khudobin is just 3 and 3 on the year. Markstrom on the other side for Vancouver, 5 and 4 on the year, 247 goals against, 918 save percentage. Vancouver's 5-1 and 2 at home, top 3 in home scoring. Pettersson, Bozer, Miller all have 8 goals apiece for the Canucks. Tanif's plus 7. They rank in the top 10 in goals allowed at home. Now Dallas on the other side, Comio, Klingberg, Dickinson, Hintz, all listed as out for tonight's action. The Stars rank in the bottom 3 in scoring, bottom 3 in offensive shots on the road. And total-wise, Vancouver on the other side, 4-3 and 1 to the over at home. I'm going to lean Canucks minus 150 and the over 5.5 in that game. Next matchup, Sharks, Ducks, 10 o'clock, Anaheim. The Ducks are minus 110, totals at 6. 61% are leaning San Jose, 54% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Ducks are plus 235 on the puck line. John Gibson for the Ducks. Martin Jones for San Jose. Jones is just 6 and 7. 329 goals against, 889 save percentage. Gibson on the other side for Anaheim comes into this game with a 280 goals against and a 915 save percentage. Anaheim 6-3 and 2 at home. Top 10 in goals allowed. Just 6 points back of first place in the Pacific Division. Silverberg and Henrique have 8 goals apiece for Anaheim. Getzlaf, 12 points. Raquel, plus 6. San Jose on the other side, just 2 and 7 straight up on the road this year. 3 and 6 against the spread in that same category. They rank in the bottom 5 in road scoring, bottom 3 in goals allowed on the road. Total-wise, Anaheim 6 and 5 to the over at home. I'm going to lean Ducks minus $1.10 and the over 6 goals in that game. And we're going to slide to our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Red Wings, Kings, 10:30 Los Angeles. The Kings are minus 145, totals at 6. We saw a 10-cent fade of the Kings. LA open $1.55 down to minus 145. Totals at 6. 61% are leaning Kings, 83% shaded toward the under. Right now, Detroit is plus $1.25 on the money line. Kings plus $1.85 on the puck line. Johnny Quick between the pipes for the Kings. John Bernier between the pipes for Detroit. Bernier comes into this game with a 319 goals against and an 891 save percentage. The Red Wings are just 7-12 and 1 overall for the season. 3 and 7 straight up on the road. They're in last place in the Atlantic Division. 11 points back of the lead in that division. Glendening and Ernie were placed on the IR back in October. Detroit ranks in the bottom 3 in scoring, bottom 3 in goals allowed. The Kings on the other side, top 3 in offensive shots, top 10 in shots allowed. Kopitar, 6 goals, 18 points. Brown and Doty both have 6 assists, 10 points each. And total-wise, Detroit is 9-7 and 4 to the over. 4-3 and 3 to the over on the road. Give me the Kings minus 145 and the over 6 goals in that game. And we're going to slide into our quick pick recap brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are 8-2 in our last 10 board member package plays. I'm going to lean Kings minus 145 over 6 goals. Anaheim minus 110 over 6 goals. Vancouver minus 150 over 5.5. Edmonton minus 135 over 6 goals. Arizona catching even money over 5.5. Florida minus 160 over 6.5. Rangers plus 1.5 under 6.5. And last but certainly not least, I like Buffalo plus 1.5. and the under 6 goals in that game. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where once again we are 8-2 in our last 10 board member package plays on that website. We're also hitting at 67% for the entire college football season. Now, what we do on that site is we do daily premium selections beginning at just $1.99 per month. We have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. Now, what a lot of people do is they ask me, what's the difference between this program right here on YouTube and your Patreon page? That's a great question. What we do on YouTube here is we handicap every single game on the board, both the side and the total. Now, if you were to bet every single game, side and total, with your hard-earned money, you will guaranteed lose. The books are too good. The math is too good. You cannot win betting every single game, side and total. You will not win in the long run. You can't do it. What we do on Patreon is we really narrow it down and focus on 3 to 4 premium high percentage selections per day. They're personal selections of mine. They're games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much, my win percentage on Patreon is a lot better than it is on YouTube. And you can check out that record right now. You can check out my current Patreon record for free right now. All you have to do is click the link in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. But most importantly, guys, I do have to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage.